All right. Let's dive into something kind of unexpected today.
Okay.
Classical music going viral.
Ooh, fun.
Whether you're, prepping for a meeting, catching up on a trend, or just insanely curious.
Right.
This is going to be a fun one.
Yeah.
Because let's face it, when we think viral, Beethoven and Bach aren't usually the first things that spring to mind.
That's true.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, totally.
Wow.
And that's what makes this whole topic so fascinating.
Yeah.
I think when we talk about classical music going viral,
Mm-hmm.
it doesn't necessarily mean racking up millions of views overnight.
Right.
Like some cat video or something.
Right.
It's more like capturing people's imaginations in a way
Yeah.
and opening a door
Mm-hmm.
to this incredible world of music,
Mm-hmm.
often in ways that are totally unexpected.
Okay, I'm intrigued.
Right.
So paint me a picture.
Right.
What exactly does viral look like in the classical world?
Okay, so imagine this.
Okay.
You're walking through a crowded shopping mall,
Mm-hmm.
just doing your everyday thing.
Yeah.
Yep. And suddenly, bam, a flash mob erupts
Oh, wow.
with Handel's Hallelujah Chorus.
Whoa, that would stop me in my tracks.
Right.
I can only imagine the looks on people's faces.
Totally.
It's like being transported from the ordinary
Yeah.
to this extraordinary musical experience.
Exactly. And those moments get captured on video,
Right.
shared online,
Mm-hmm.
and suddenly they're sparking joy
Yeah.
and a sense of connection
Mhm.
with people all over the world.
Yeah.
It's not just the beauty of the music itself.
Right.
It's the unexpected context,
Mm.
the clash between the mundane and the majestic
Right.
that creates this viral energy.
Yeah.
Remember those videos of Beethoven's Ninth Symphony
Yeah.
being performed at train stations?
Oh, yeah. Those were powerful.
Right.
You see people going about their daily commute,
Yeah.
and then this incredible music starts swelling,
Yeah.
drawing them in.
Yeah.
Suddenly, this ordinary space
Right.
transforms into this impromptu concert hall, and you've got complete strangers united by the power of Beethoven.
It's almost as if
It's amazing.
those moments tap into this primal human need
Yeah.
for beauty and connection,
Mm-hmm.
even in the midst of our busy lives.
Yeah,
It makes you wonder, doesn't it?
it does.
What is it about classical music, even in these unexpected settings,
Right.
that has the power to move us so deeply?
That is a great question.
Yeah.
And it's not just these grand orchestrated flash mobs, right?
Right.
You've also got individual artists
Absolutely.
who are really changing the game by using platforms like YouTube
Yes.
to find their audience.
Oh, sure.
Like,
Sure.
take Valentina Lisitsa, for example.
Yes.
This Ukrainian-American pianist had been trying to break into
Mm.
the traditional classical concert circuit for years,
Yep.
but she was really struggling.
Yeah.
Then she started posting videos of her
Oh.
performances on YouTube, and
Yeah.
everything changed.
Wow.
I've seen some of her videos. She's incredibly talented.
She is.
So what happened? Whoa.
Did going viral online
Yeah.
help her break through?
You bet it did.
In the traditional music world, too.
Millions of people around the world saw her talent.
Wow.
And it wasn't long before she was getting record deals
Wow.
and performing on some of the biggest stages.
That's amazing.
It really shows you the power of these online platforms
Yeah.
to democratize access to classical music.
Yeah. That's an inspiring story.
It is.
And it makes me think of other artists who've really blown up online
Mm-hmm.
by putting their own spin on classical music.
Yes.
Like Two Cellos, for example.
Oh, yeah.
They took their classical cello training
Yeah.
and started creating these really intense, energetic covers of pop and rock songs.
Oh, I love Two Cellos.
I know, right?
Their cover of Smooth Criminal was the one that really went viral, right?
Yeah, it was everywhere.
Yeah.
It's a great example of how you can stay true to the techniques and traditions
Mhm.
of classical music, but present it in a way
Yeah.
that feels fresh and exciting.
To a whole new audience.
Right.
And then you've got artists like Lindsay Sterling,
Yes.
who's practically a genre unto herself.
Amazing.
I've seen her videos, too.
Yes.
It's like she combines classical violin
Uh-huh.
with this electronic dance music vibe.
Yeah.
And then adds these incredible visuals and
Yeah.
choreography.
Exactly. She's a fantastic example
Yeah.
of how classical musicians can be innovative
Yes.
and push boundaries while still honoring
Yeah.
the core elements of their art form.
It's really making me rethink what classical music can be
Mhm.
in the 21st century.
Yeah.
It's not just stuck in the past, it's evolving.
Right.
And finding new ways to connect with people.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's funny, all these viral moments
Mm-hmm.
are really pushing us to redefine what classical music even means these days.
That's such a good point. We're so used to thinking of it
Right.
as this very formal, traditional thing.
Yeah.
But these examples show us that it can be so much more dynamic and diverse.
Exactly.
It's not just about stuffy concert halls and people in powdered wigs anymore.
Yeah.
It's about finding those unexpected connections, those moments
Yes.
where classical music intersects with our modern lives.
Exactly. And that's what makes this whole exploration so exciting.
Yeah.
We're not just talking about a few isolated viral videos.
Right.
We're witnessing a real cultural shift.
Yeah.
The lines between genres are blurring.
Uh-huh.
Generations are connecting over this music.
Yeah.
And it's challenging all those old assumptions
Mm-hmm.
about who classical music is for.
It's almost like we're reclaiming classical music,
Yes.
making it relevant and accessible to a whole new audience.
Exactly.
And it makes me wonder about the bigger picture here.
Yeah.
We've talked about these individual artists and their viral successes, but how is all of this impacting the classical music world as a whole?
Right.
Is this a sign of a revival?
Right.
Or are there downsides to all this viral fame?
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it?
It is.
And the answer, like most things, isn't simple.
Right.
On the one hand, there's definitely a sense of optimism in the air.
Yeah.
It feels like classical music is finally breaking free
Yeah.
from its ivory tower image and connecting with more people than ever before.
I can see that you've got artists like Two Cellos and Lindsey Stirling selling out huge venues.
Right.
Composers like Bach and Beethoven are having a resurgence in popularity.
Yeah.
And even streaming services are curating classical music playlists that are introducing this music to people who might never have listened to it otherwise.
Right. It's undeniable that classical music is having a moment.
Yeah.
But let's not get too carried away with the hype.
Right.
There are some valid concerns, too.
Okay.
Like we were talking about earlier. Some people worry about the oversimplification of classical music,
Right.
the potential for excessive commercialization,
Mm-hmm.
and whether this focus on viral fame is actually overshadowing true artistry.
You're bringing up some important points.
Yeah.
And these concerns become even more pressing when you think about
Right.
the financial realities of the classical music world.
Absolutely.
Orchestras and opera houses have been struggling for years to stay afloat,
Yes.
to attract new audiences and secure funding.
Absolutely.
Right.
And the pandemic,
Right.
along with the rise of digital streaming,
Mm-hmm.
hasn't made things any easier.
Yeah.
So the question becomes,
Right.
can this wave of viral popularity translate into actual tangible support for these institutions?
Right.
Can it help ensure the long-term survival
Mm-hmm.
of classical music as a living, breathing art form?
It's a challenge for sure.
Yeah.
But I like to think of it as an opportunity, too.
Yeah, I agree.
If we can figure out how to harness this renewed interest in classical music and channel it into meaningful engagement,
Right.
then I think we have a real shot at revitalizing the entire industry.
I agree, but that's going to require some creative thinking.
Right.
It's about bridging the gap
Mm-hmm.
between the digital world and the traditional concert hall experience.
Yeah.
We need to figure out how to create synergies between all the online buzz and actual real-world attendance.
Yeah.
And how do we use technology to enhance the concert-going experience,
Yeah.
to make it something that feels relevant and exciting
Yeah.
to younger generations who are used to a completely different kind of entertainment?
These are great questions.
Yeah.
What are some of the ways you see that happening?
Well, some orchestras are already getting pretty innovative.
Uh-huh.
They're experimenting with shorter concerts,
Okay.
more casual settings,
Mm-hmm.
even incorporating visual elements and multimedia into their performances
Okay.
to create a more immersive experience.
That's cool. It's like they're breaking down those traditional barriers
Exactly.
that can make classical music feel intimidating or inaccessible to people
Right.
who aren't already familiar with it.
Exactly. And I think another key piece of the puzzle is fostering a sense of community,
Okay.
a shared passion for the music. Remember those flash mob examples we were talking about earlier?
Yeah.
They weren't just about the music itself.
Right.
They were about bringing people together,
Uh-huh.
creating this shared experience of joy and connection.
I see what you mean. And that kind of energy doesn't have to be limited
Right.
to in-person events.
Right.
The online world can offer that sense of community too.
For sure. Through social media, online forums,
Yeah.
and even virtual concert halls.
Yeah.
there are so many ways to create spaces where people can connect with each other and with the music they love.
It's like building this online ecosystem where people feel a sense of belonging, where they can discover new music, share their thoughts, and realize that classical music isn't this exclusive club. It's for everyone, regardless of age, background, or experience level.
I couldn't have said it better myself.
Yeah.
If we can create those kinds of welcoming spaces, both online and offline, I think we have a real shot at ensuring that classical music continues to thrive and evolve for generations to come.
Right.
It's not just about preserving the past. It's about creating a future where this incredible art form can reach its full potential.
I love that it's about building a future for classical music.
Yes.
Not just clinging to the past.
Exactly.
But, you know, while we're celebrating all this positive energy, I think it's also important to acknowledge the challenges that a lot of classical musicians face in this rapidly changing digital landscape.
Yeah.
It's not all sunshine and roses, is it?
You're absolutely right. While some artists are finding incredible success online, others are really struggling to navigate this new world.
Yeah.
The competition is fierce.
Right.
The algorithms can be brutal, and it can be incredibly difficult to stand out from the noise.
It's not enough to just be talented anymore.
Right.
You need to be a savvy marketer. You need to understand how to use social media effectively. And you need to be constantly adapting and evolving your approach. Yeah. And even then, success is never guaranteed.
It's a tough reality.
Yeah.
And that's why it's so important that we as listeners and as members of the classical music community do what we can to support these emerging artists.
Yeah.
They need access to resources, mentorship from experienced professionals, and encouragement to keep pursuing their passion.
Yeah. And we need to be mindful of the pressures and expectations that come with online fame.
Absolutely.
This constant need to create content,
Right.
to engage with fans, to stay relevant in this ever-changing digital world.
Yeah.
It can be incredibly overwhelming.
It's a valid point. It's easy to get caught up in the excitement of a viral video, but we need to remember that behind every post, every performance, there's a human being, an artist, who's pouring their heart and soul into their craft.
We need to treat each other with respect,
Absolutely.
with empathy, and with a genuine appreciation for the art that's being created.
Couldn't agree more. And that includes being mindful
Yeah.
of the content we consume and share online.
Right.
We need to be discerning about the sources we trust, the artists we support, and the messages we amplify.
Right.
It's about using our platforms and our voices responsibly to help create a healthy and sustainable ecosystem for classical music in this digital age.
Well said. It's a collective effort, a responsibility we all share.
It is.
But, you know, amidst all this talk about algorithms and digital strategies and the future of the industry, I think it's important to take a step back.
Yes.
And remember why we fell in love with classical music in the first place.
Oh, absolutely. At the end of the day, it all comes back to the music itself.
Yeah.
To the pure joy, the beauty, the raw emotional power that has drawn people to this art form for centuries.
It's about those moments that send shivers down your spine.
Yes.
Those melodies that transport you to another time and place. Those harmonies that resonate deep within your soul.
Exactly. And that's something that no amount of technology can ever truly replicate.
Yeah.
It's the human element, the passion, the artistry that breathes life into these notes on a page.
I agree.
And that's something we should never lose sight of.
I couldn't agree more. But, you know, speaking of the human element,
yes,
I think it's time we bring you, our listener, back into the conversation.
I was just thinking the same thing. We've shared a lot of our thoughts and perspectives, but now we're curious to hear from you.
Yeah.
How have you experienced this intersection of classical music in the digital world?
Have you discovered any new artists through viral videos?
Right.
Have you attended a concert that was inspired by an online experience? Or maybe you have some thoughts on the challenges and opportunities we've been discussing.
We'd love to hear your stories, your insights, your perspective on this evolving relationship between classical music and the digital age.
Because ultimately, it's your passion, your engagement, your love for the music that will shape the future of this art form.
So let's keep the conversation going.
Yeah.
Leave us a comment. Connect with us on social media. And let's continue exploring this incredible world of classical music together.
As we wrap up this deep dive, I keep coming back to this idea of viral classical music as a gateway.
Yeah.
It's like it's opening up this whole new world to people who might have never considered listening to classical music before.
It is like a doorway, isn't it?
Right.
It's breaking down those preconceived notions that classical music is only for a certain type of person.
Yeah.
Someone who's super sophisticated.
Right.
Or has had years of formal training.
Exactly. And it's doing it in a way that feels fun and engaging.
Right.
It's meeting people where they are, whether that's on TikTok, through a meme shared by a friend, or even just stumbling across a video on YouTube.
Right. And the beauty of it is that from that initial spark of interest, anything is possible.
I love that.
Maybe you fall in love with opera.
Yeah.
Maybe you develop a newfound appreciation for Bach. Or maybe you just find a moment of peace and tranquility.
Yeah.
In a piece of music that resonates with you.
I think that's what's so powerful about these viral moments.
Right.
They have the ability to open hearts and minds to the beauty and emotional depth of music, no matter what genre it comes from.
It's true.
But while we're celebrating these viral successes, I think it's also important to remember that they're just the beginning of the journey.
I agree. It's like seeing a beautiful flower in bloom. Right?
Okay.
You're captivated by its beauty, but to really appreciate it, you need to understand what's going on beneath the surface.
Right.
You need to know about its roots, its growth process, the delicate balance of the ecosystem it's a part of.
I love that analogy. So how do we help people go beyond that initial spark?
Right.
And really cultivate a deeper understanding and appreciation for classical music?
Education is key. Both in formal settings like schools and conservatories, and in informal settings like community music programs, or even online resources.
Yeah.
It's about providing access to quality instruction, connecting aspiring musicians with mentors who can guide them, and creating opportunities for young people to experience classical music firsthand.
It's about instilling a love for this art form from an early age, showing kids that classical music can be fun, engaging, and relevant to their lives.
And it's not just about kids either.
Right.
Lifelong learning is so important.
It is.
There are tons of resources out there for adults who want to expand their musical horizons, online courses, lectures, books, even podcasts like ours.
Right.
We're all on this journey of discovery together, constantly learning and growing our appreciation.
I agree.
For this incredible art form.
Absolutely. But, beyond education and mentorship, I think it's also crucial to simply create spaces where people can experience classical music in a way that feels welcoming and inclusive.
That's so important. We need to break down those barriers of intimidation. Make people feel like they can explore classical music without feeling judged or like they need to be an expert to enjoy it.
Exactly. It could be as simple as having a casual listening party with friends, joining a community sing-along, or attending a free concert in the park.
Yes.
It's about fostering a sense of community and shared love for music that transcends age, background, and experience level.
Right. And it's about remembering that classical music isn't a monolith.
Yeah.
It's a rich and diverse tapestry of styles, genres, and cultural influences. There's something out there for everyone just waiting to be discovered.
So as we wrap up this deep dive,
I want to leave you with a challenge.
I love a good challenge.
Embrace the unexpected.
Okay.
Step outside of your comfort zone and explore the world of classical music with an open mind and an adventurous spirit.
I like it. Be open to new sounds, new experiences, new ways of connecting with this incredible art form.
Don't be afraid to get a little weird, a little unconventional, because that's where the real magic happens.
Beautifully said.
And who knows, maybe you'll even be the one to create the next viral classical music moment.
Now, wouldn't that be something?
Right.
This has been a fantastic deep dive.
Yes.
Thanks for joining us on this journey of exploration and discovery.
We'll be back soon with more insights from the world of classical music.
Yes.
Until then, keep listening, keep exploring, and keep the music alive.